If you saw my last video, then you would know I was on my way back to Riggins for a very exciting bus upgrade, but this day did not go as planned.
So, we're in a hotel. Things have gone terribly wrong. They could be a lot worse. The bus is still running. The dogs are okay. They're fed. They've ate. I need to like shower and eat and cool down, and I'll update you guys. Very stressed. I think the biggest thing is I haven't ate since like 8 or 9 a.m. and it was like Gardettos. I haven't ate a real meal. I still have my bathing suit on from dipping in the river this morning. I'll update you guys, just to give me a little bit. All right, let's do this. I have a raging headache and I'm so tired, but I want to explain what happened. So, I thought the next time I came on here, it would be me like explaining why we're going back up to Riggins and the excitement behind my bus upgrade. And so I have to explain why I came to Boise and why I went to REI. So I went to REI because by this weekend I had to return my goal 0 because that was like the time frame. And I will explain later when I have more enthusiasm and I'm more excited to explain why I'm returning the goal 0 and everything and upgrading my system, because I have some explaining to do there. But surprise, that was the upgrade. That's why we came to Boise now, because it's a heat wave. It was 103 plus today, and I do need an oil change and I needed dog food, so I had to come to the city somewhat soon. Wouldn't have chose Boise if it wasn't for going to REI, because it's just really hot here. But it is what it is. Well, as soon as we pulled into the REI parking lot, and I was still in my bathing suit from being in Stanley and like swimming in the river that morning, so I'm putting on a shirt and my AC made a noise that caught my attention, and then it started almost like screeching and blowing really high air, and it smelled burnt, and I knew something was terribly wrong. Izzy was getting really hot, and that is the issue with Frenchies, is they cannot regulate their heat as well as normal dogs, and it can be really bad. It can be fatal. So I was like, all right, I need to get to Petco because I need dog food anyway, and I know we can get inside the AC and chill, because it was just so hot I couldn't even like do anything. And so I even on the way there called a mechanic for AC, and they were like weeks backed up. So we get inside Petco. The dogs are so hot. Izzy was panting a lot, but pretty like limp, like very exhausted by the time we got in there. I had to carry her in, and I explained to the girl like working kind of what was going on. She was so sweet, so she was like, let me get the dogs like a cold towel and water and stuff, and then she brought me to like kind of a back room, and then her manager brought me like a chair to sit in. And I do not cry often, and usually when I cry it's because like I'm very frustrated, or like in very like scary situations or like panic situations. I'm not one that panics or cries. I'm pretty like level-headed. But once I finally like sat down, I was like holding back tears because I was so frustrated about my AC, because for one, I spent a lot of money to get that like fixed over the last year and recent, and two, it made me so mad that I was in that situation and like that the dogs were not doing that well. And I was just not mad at, I mean, no one to be mad at, but I was just like very frustrated that this was all happening. It felt like at such a bad time, but obviously I know that most things never happen, like nothing bad happens at a good time. There's never a good time for something bad to happen, and it could be a lot worse. It was already like 6 p.m. Everything was closed. I got a hotel. That was kind of a nightmare to get a hotel. That's a pain, but that's what I knew I had to do, is get a hotel, because we had to get somewhere cool and I had to just kind of like figure it out. So the awesome thing is we're going to a MenQ tomorrow, which I don't know how trustworthy they are, but it's really my only option at this point. And I'm getting an oil change, and they're checking my AC. And I will say, after doing a lot of research on the internet tonight and talking to a few people, my AC sounds like a really bad problem. I'm pretty sure it's my condenser, which is really expensive, and apparently that was actually replaced last year. I'm not sure if I even trust that mechanic with what he did, but apparently that was replaced. I'm like hoping for the best. I'm hoping maybe it's a belt or something else, but it is something bad, and I am well aware of that. And I've been extremely stressed and extremely exhausted and extremely frustrated about all this. And I know being frustrated about things like this, like there's nothing I can do now, and being frustrated isn't going to change anything. So I kind of went through those emotions, took a shower, finally ate a real meal at like 8 p.m. And I feel a lot better. So we're just going to go into tomorrow, get it figured out, and then make decisions from there. And when I went out to the bus to lock all 4 doors, because for one, to lock them, but 2, I don't feel super comfortable having my bus sitting out there. Thankfully, it's like right outside the window, but I locked both my keys in the bus. I've never done that. I'm usually so good about that. And as soon as I shut the door, I had a feeling too. I'm like, oh crap, and I went to open it, and it wasn't like, it was actually locked shut, but it was like we could still pull it, but not like enough. It wasn't, so anyway. But thankfully I have AAA. This is the first year I've ever had AAA, and it's the first time I've ever had to use it, and that was really awesome. The guy that came out, it was named Ian. He was a younger kid, and he was super sweet, and that was nice. So yeah, that's the situation, is the AC blew, and so that's the big problem, is it's so hot here, and clearly, I mean, it was 8 minutes from the time we left REI to Petco, and Izzy was doing that bed, and I even was putting cold like handkerchief on her, putting the fan on her, and she just couldn't handle it. And Bodhi was doing pretty bad too, but he can at least self-regulate a little bit better. And so by the time I'm done with my appointments tomorrow, it's already going to be hitting 98 degrees at like 10 in the morning, and the dogs can't go, like it's an hour and a half till it cools down just a little bit, and the dogs can't do that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get another hotel tomorrow, which really sucks, as they're expensive in Boise. I'll figure it out. Once I figure out what's wrong with it, I will make a decision. That's where we're at. But I am really grateful, like obviously we're safe, and like we're all okay. The dogs are super okay now, and the hotel life is nice every once in a while. Not necessarily paying and being in a hotel, but like having a queen size bed, I think this is a king size bed, having a legit shower. I've been having some river showers, having AC, so like it could be worse. And also like I'm grateful. I have friends right now who are like, their vehicles are breaking down and they can't drive them. I am grateful that I can still drive my vehicle, so I know this could be so much worse. It just happened at a really, really bad time. And of course it happened in like one of the hottest places, and it was a little scary with the dogs, but we're all good now. I'm grateful. Things could be way worse. I have a lot of people that offered to help any way they could. I have family that like is helpful, so I am grateful. This is just so frustrating. My head is pounding. My head hurts so bad. So anyway, we're gonna go to bed. I will update you guys tomorrow. But yeah, that was the update. I wish I was coming on here happily explaining what we're doing, why we're going back to Riggins, why I returned the goal 0, all that. But I will update you on that when I can think a little bit more clearly. And Izzy, who I was mostly worried about, is doing 100 times better. So that is good. He likes king size beds. We got up at 4 in the morning to head here to beat the heat. It was still like, it was 70s in Boise this morning at 4 in the morning, but it was very muggy, and I knew once I got just like an hour outside of there it would be way cooler. And then Riggins, it's hot again, so we were kind of trying to get that middle ground, and we did it. And my feet have been numb the past few hours, but I am soaking it up because I know I'm gonna be so hot today. It's gonna be 107 in Riggins, but we are gonna have, you know, Stuart and Rebecca's RV and the river, and we'll be okay. We will make it work, and I can hook up my AC. But let's talk about why I'm coming back to Riggins. So I am coming back because I am upgrading my Goal 0 power station to a legit power setup, and Stuart is a wizard and knows, he's done so much research, he's so intelligent about this, so he is helping me. So that's why. The issue with my AC going out, oh boy, did I do a lot of calling and looking into like so many different options, and it was really stressful and it was really overwhelming. And it isn't the end of the world. Like, my vehicle is running, it could be worse, but I have to be really careful with my dogs in the heat, and right now it's a heat wave, especially Izzy. French bulldogs just can't regulate their temperature like other dogs, and once they get hot, it's scary because they just can't cool themselves down. And I've been seeing, like yesterday I saw a video on Facebook of this bulldog in the veterinarian's hospital because it was overheating, and it's not really like, it's not always that the owner, you know, was being negligent, just things happen. Having AC is a non-negotiable for me. Most stressful thing too about breakdowns and all this happening is I'm by myself, and hi Bodhi, I see you. And it's very challenging to coordinate logistically me and the dogs and getting a hotel or an Airbnb or a ride, or there's just so much to it, and I'm just extremely, like, I can't even put into words how thankful I am for Stu and Rebecca. Like, they went out of their way calling places, helping me out. So anyway, we're almost to Riggins. I'm just, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I feel so much safer and more comfortable, so things are looking up. I never knew how good it would feel to be coming down this little windy road down the river. It feels so good to be back. We made it. And we're in one piece, huh, kids? Huh, kids? Whew.
So I said I had some explaining to do on why I upgraded my Goal Zero power bank to this system. And it just simply comes down to the power bank I really did enjoy, but being full-time in the rig, it just wasn't enough. I needed something with a little bit more beef and something that was a little bit more sustainable for me. I don't think the Goal Zero is a bad option. It was time for me to upgrade, and it's made living in the bus a lot more comfortable and sustainable and just realistic for me. But what you don't see here is Stuart built out this whole entire system for me, and he was up till past 2 in the morning putting it in for me, and I would not have done this if it wasn't for him. So I'm extremely grateful for him and him just helping me out and making it so simple for me. And even though this was one of the most stressful times that I've had in bus life, I'm grateful for this experience, and I'm grateful I was able to come back and spend time with Stuart and Rebecca and meet their friend Nathan, and we just had a lot of fun together. And I almost needed this more than I even knew with all the stress I had gone through. And it was just a beautiful time, and I was able to create many more memories with Stuart and Rebecca and Nathan and my time in Idaho. But this place, we were, I think it was 6,000 feet above sea level, and this is the first place they took me to when I first came to visit them. So having this be the last place we spent in my last day with them was just really beautiful, and we had obviously a lot of fun, and it was just really peaceful. And I'm just forever grateful for these memories and their friendship.